I'm 38M. I'm finding it hard to date after my wife, 32F, passed away. Hi everyone. 5 years ago, my wife of 6 years was killed in a car crash. We had a 3-year-old daughter at the time who is 8 years old now. Life has been anything but easy since, but I've been lucky to have a strong support system of family and friends and have a strong career which has helped us get by. Over the past 6 months, I've thought about getting back into dating. Funnily and eerily enough, my wife and I had talked about what we would do if one of us died young, and we were firm that the other person should date, marry again. So I know this is something she would have wanted. I'm also eager for companionship in a relationship, but I haven't had much success at all. My major issue is I compare every potential partner to my wife. In my head, it's like I'm looking for an excuse to not give that person a chance. I want to make it clear that I'm not looking for a new mother for my daughter. But I wonder if women might think I am and get turned off. Basically, I'm playing out every worst-case scenario in my head. Any advice on how to tackle this? My mom passed away when I was 12 from a skidoo accident, and my dad was very much in the same boat as you are in now. They had married at 19 and stayed together until her death at the age of 35. My parents also had that conversation, and he also knew that even if tragedy struck him, the world didn't stop turning and he couldn't stop living. He wanted to show us that life goes on anyways. You just have to do the best you can with what you have. Your wife was, I am sure, an amazing woman, and you do very well to cherish her memory and keep her alive for your daughter so she can know who her mother was. But be very careful between cherishing her memory and idolizing her. She was a person, and like any person, she also had her faults too. My father met my stepmother 3 or so years after, and she once asked my dad if he still loved his first wife, my mom, and if he still loved her, how could he love my stepmom now? My dad took a moment to think about it, and in the best way he could, he explained that yeah, he would always love her. They were torn apart not because they stopped loving each other, but because circumstances decided that was it. But he could love her memory and also love my stepmother for the wonderful woman she was as well. That it wasn't a competition because they each were cherished to him. She was the love of his life then. And now my stepmom is the love of him life now. He could never compare them because it's apples and oranges. These are two different people. You have to first take your dearly departed wife off the pedestal you put her on that makes you compare her to any other woman coming into your life now. 'Cause that isn't really fair. Once you do that, once you make her human again, you can start realizing that not everyone is perfect. And you can start looking for a new partner without the shadow of the old one constantly in the background to compare these women to. Love isn't something that can be divided. It grows and multiplies, and just because you love a new woman does not mean you love your first wife any less. And just because you love and adore your first wife does not mean any other woman that comes after will be lacking. It just means they will be different. It's a small dating pool, but finding someone who also lost their spouse is beneficial. My dad and his girlfriend are in this situation. It's really neat to see them both talk lovingly about their previous spouses in front of each other. And they each have so much understanding and compassion for each other's past. There is absolutely no jealousy there. Love is not a limited resource. Time is the limited resource. Any new partner should understand that, and understand they have your limited time. But there is no limit to your love. For this reason, there is no need to be jealous of a past lover. To be fair, you have to go through quite a few dating encounters before you can hope to find one who is truly marriage-worthy and compatible with yourself. It might help if instead of trying to replace your wife, you just date with the intention of doing no more than dating. By which I mean light socializing, not random hookups. Another adult to talk to and do things with. When you least expect it, you'll be smacked upside the head by a woman who is perfect for you. And when that happens, you'll know it pretty quick. So in short, I don't think there's anything wrong with your approach and you're finding shortfalls with these. Ladies, just adjust your expectations. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. Have you spent any time in therapy and grief counseling? If not, I would, and I'd be sure to find one who specializes in blended families so they can help you navigate this in the healthiest way possible for yourself and your kiddo. In my 44F experience, it is a whole lot easier to partner with someone who is divorced, even amicably, than to be with someone whose partner died. For the exact reason you mentioned. It can feel like you're constantly competing with a ghost and people tend to glorify a lost partner, only thinking of the good stuff, so it's like you're in competition with a saint. It doesn't feel so good. I'd also tell you that, again in my experience and in that of the stepmoms in the group I mod, that it's far easier to blend in a new female partner in het relationship when the kids are under age 10. Once they get into the tween years, there can be a lot of competition for your attention. I've not suffered a loss like you. I did get divorced and it sucked, but it's not the same as experiencing a loss due to deaths. I can't pretend to know how you feel, but I did love my turned out to be gay husband, and when I started dating again, I did kind of hold him up for comparison in my mind because I didn't marry the guy for no good reason. Ya know? I kind of wanted to have all the things I'd had in him, just not gay. As for the mommy 2.0 thing, I'm glad you aren't looking for that because it wouldn't be fair to anyone. I think you just have to make that clear. And don't even think about exposing your kiddo to someone until it's a pretty sure thing. Something like 612 most minimum. I know you didn't ask for dating advice, but if I may, after my divorce, I took a year for myself therapy. When I decided to start dating again, I made a profile on Tinder with pics of me doing the things I'll love and want to do with a partner. Fishing, horses, dogs. If I saw a potential match, we'd message for a day or two, then I'd set up a coffee or drink date. It makes no sense to me to waste a ton of time talking, because once you actually meet in person, you usually know in 5 minutes or less if you're at all attracted. I went on about 25 first dates, 10 second, and 1/3 over 2 most. Been with third date guy and his kiddo for 5 years now and we are happy. I would strongly suggest that you not put any pics of your kid on a dating app, but that you do mention you have a child and you have the parenting under control and are looking for a partner, not mommy 2.0. Good luck. I really do hope you'll work with a therapist though, because there will be some transitions in the future that a professional can help you with, so everyone is getting their needs met in a healthy way. One step at a time. One day at a time. Enjoy getting to know people who could be romantic partners and ease into it. Try not to think 10 moves ahead and psych yourself out. You're not in a hurry, so just take your time getting to know people organically. Even though it's been 5 years, I feel like you're going from 0 to 60. Mentally. Ever so slightly. Which makes sense. And is totally normal. But it's likely putting a lot of pressure on yourself. I get that as a single dad you don't have a lot of time to waste and you would like whoever you meet to be a good influence on your daughter. At a minimum. But instead of worrying about how she feels about being a stepmom or comparing your date to how you felt after years with your wife, try to go in with a whatever happens attitude. And that sometimes love can be a slow burn versus a lightning bolt. That doesn't make it lesser, just different. The only expectation you should have of yourself is to get out there and be able to hold a conversation and exercise that dating muscle. That's it for now. If you don't feel it for whatever reason, that is fine. That's normal for a lot of us, lol. You chalk it up to a good story and keep going. Stay open and you'll be okay. It's lovely that your wife gave her blessing, so to speak, for you to carry on without her, but I am willing to bet that came with the caveat, don't force it, and for the love of God, have some fun. Red heart, you are not doing her or you or your daughter a disservice by taking your time and being true to yourself. I doubt she'd want you to see this as a chore. You're probably thinking you need to find someone who's as amazing as her so you can love her the same. That isn't the case. There will never be anyone like her, and that's okay. You may not even feel as intensely about someone else as you do her. And that's okay. I lost my partner to a brain tumor when I was 32. He was 42. I was a mess for 2 years. I couldn't even hug my kids, never mind think about dating again. My partner was the most amazing guy. I decided to try dating after about 4 years. I compared everyone to him. I had built a big wall around myself to prevent getting emotionally attached or hurt. It was difficult at first. I lost part of my identity when he died. I wasn't the same person I had been before and didn't really know what I was looking for. I just wanted something to fill that empty, sick feeling I had inside and try and feel normal again. I eventually accepted that you can't move on with life if you are constantly living in the past. I knew I would never find anyone that measured up to my partner. I didn't really want to replace him. I wanted to meet someone different. That was just as great, but in their own way. Getting out and meeting people surprisingly fun. I felt like a normal person again, not just someone's widow. It helped build my confidence again, and I met some really great guys. I was honest about my situation from the start. It took me about 6 months of seeing the same person before I could let my guard down. He was amazing, and we ended up in a relationship for 4 years. The only thing I couldn't do was introduce him to my daughter. I wanted to protect her at all costs. I figured she had been through enough, and I didn't want to bring someone into her life that could potentially leave at some time in the future. I also really struggled with the thought of getting emotionally attached and being abandoned in the future. I didn't think I would recover a second time. So I stuck with that rule over the years. I just dated etc. outside my home. Yes, it wasn't ideal and caused problems at times. It's difficult to be in a relationship with someone when you can't really involve them in your everyday life. I am older now and single, and my daughter is now an adult. I know everyone is different, but I think putting her well-being before my own was the right thing to do for us. I know I don't need to say this, but I think we all should be sure that any future relationships are going to be long-term before introducing to our kids. Not just in our situation, just in general. I don't understand those who bring multiple partners into their homes without giving it a second thought about how emotionally damaging it can be to children. You will probably find it difficult at first. There are a lot of mixed emotions, but stick with it. Try not to overthink things. Go out and meet new people. Be honest about what you are looking for. Some women might not want to date a single dad, especially a widowed single dad. Personally, I wouldn't have a problem with it as long as I knew that you were ready to meet someone new and weren't looking for someone to step into your wife's shoes. You can only try and see how it goes. You might be pleasantly surprised. Losing a partner is devastating. It's a huge step in the right direction that you are now at the stage where you can think about the future. I hope that it works out great for you. You deserve to be happy. We all do, red heart. I was in your shoes. My brother. My wife of 20 years passed when I was 43. My son was 16 at the time. I took a couple of years for myself and son. Dating had changed a lot. I have met some exceptional women who I have been totally honest with and had some wonderful relationships. I am currently dating a wonderful woman with no plans on marrying. But she knows that the best we will ever be is domestic partners. I love her and she loves me. Just be honest with your desires, wants, and needs. You're not ready. Go easy on yourself. There isn't a time limit on processing grief and a major life change. Once you're ready, it will just naturally happen. Doesn't sound like you are ready to date. Are you in therapy? Go easy on yourself up. When you are ready, you will be open to new women and stop comparing. Or figure out what was missing in your marriage and seek a new partner. I'm writing as what I saw my mom do after she lost her husband. She didn't even date for 9 years, so if you're ready, and that's wonderful, but you don't have to be ready yet. And then she dated a few people that she knew wouldn't be her new partner, just nice people to get her back into the dating scene. Eventually she found someone with similar life experiences and goals. I think the big thing was kind of allowing herself to compare and remember, and then when you're actually ready you won't be comparing so much anymore. You mentioned that you're keen for companionship. Do you think maybe you're wanting just that and not a physical relationship? Just company? You may be forcing yourself when you're not ready. Do you have any hobbies that you do with friends? It sounds like you're not actually ready to date yet. Don't seek it out. Let it happen when you feel it. No matter what you do, say, there will always be someone who thinks you're looking for a mommy replacement. That's completely okay. They'll filter themselves out for you. Saves you time. Someone mature enough to see who you are and respect the relationship you have with your daughter. And the relationship you had with your wife will be worth the wait. This was me after 25 years. Starting over again with a young teen to consider. Any new relationship will be based on your compatibility first. Then they may get the privilege of meeting your kid. There's a lot of time and conversation before you even get that far. So far as comparing, yeah, that's normal. And it goes both ways. The more people you meet, the more you realize how many different personalities and perspectives there are. The key is, they're all different. Hopefully one day you will meet that one person who gets it and it will feel natural. Different, but natural. I got really lucky and have been happy for 14 years the second time around. It can happen, but you have to be open to it. Different is not bad or wrong. Just different. Don't have advice just when you finally meet one. Make sure your daughter comes first. Don't force the stepmom to be called mom unless your daughter wants to. I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't give any advice about the dating situation, but I just wanted to say your daughter seems very lucky to have you. I'm sure you've done them both proud. Therapy. Introducing partners to kids that age can be tough. Have you talked to her about it? There are good women out there who not only will be open to loving you and your daughter but also honoring and respecting your late wife. Start a relationship and be honest about not wanting someone to come in and erase your wife or take her place, because no one can do that. You might find that someone who has experienced this by either losing their spouse as well or who comes from a blended family are exceptionally open to this. But I know a lot of seriously kind-hearted women who by their nature want to respect your wishes, boundaries, and also give you time and not rush you.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.